Hope you had fun doing those exercises last week, creating your own space at home and drawing your favourite thing or pet. It's such a beautiful day today. Let's go outside. Okay, hi everyone. So this is my garden and it's a beautiful day. It's still warm enough to come outside and do some drawing. So if you can, go outside and do some drawing. You can do all sorts of things. You can draw the flowers or the leaves, or I'll show you some cool things you can do later on. I just wanted to show you my secret garden. It's over here, come this way. This is my secret spot. What do you think? Do you have a secret spot in your garden or something that you can make a secret spot for you to draw? I'd love to see it. Okay, so this is something you can do outside. You can find a really interesting shadow, put a piece of paper down underneath it and trace it. So this big, you can just use A4 paper. Hopefully you've got a helpful dog, not like Bridget. Okay, alright, so see how I've placed the paper underneath the shadow of the roses? I'm just going to trace the roses. It's a really fun and easy way to make a drawing. Easier said than done when it's windy. You've got to chase them, chase the lines around. But it's not about making anything perfect. Whoa! I can make it really interesting. I'm just going to go as fast as I can because they're moving. It's going to be an interesting drawing. Okay. Now this is something you can actually do with your whole family. Everybody can have a go and then you can do it really quickly. Or if it's a really still day, you can really take your time. Okay, I'll stop it there and you can have a look. Ta-da! Okay, now I could go back in with a pencil and I could shade that really black if I wanted to, or I could even get some paint and paint it. Very easy. Look at this cool shadow that this beautiful rose is casting. If you got somebody to hold it for you, they could hold it while you traced it. Would be one thing you could do. Or if you want to do a drawing, I'll show you a cool way of doing it. Remember when we did those portraits, single line blind contour drawings where we weren't allowed to look at the paper but we just looked at what we're drawing? You could do that. So I'm going to do that with this rose. I'm going to use one line. I'm not going to lift my pen off the paper or my pencil, but I'm just going to look at the rose. And I'm just going to draw what I see. And I might end up with a whole bunch of squiggles. I probably will, but they're going to be really nice squiggles. And the great thing about this, as you know, because some of you have done this before, when you draw without looking at the paper, but just at the object that you're drawing, you have really nice, smooth, confident lines. And also, you don't have to stop to rub things out. You don't worry so much about what you're drawing and how it looks. And you know how sometimes when you're drawing, you think, oh, that's not good, that's not looking like I want it to. When you draw like this, just connecting your brain to your hand and just drawing what's in front of you. I have no idea what this drawing is going to look like. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that and show you. What do you think? It doesn't look exactly like a rose, but it's still a pretty cool drawing. I'm going to show you something else. So you can also get people to pose for you and then trace them. So nice pose there, Teo. Hold it still. Okay, you're not going to move around as much as those roses did. Now I'm just going to trace your silhouette onto this piece of paper for my drawing. Don't move. Oh, got to reach right around there. Oh, your hand is coming up here. Okay, cool. There we go. There's the silhouette. And I can fill that in with paint or pencil or patterns and make something really cool. So here we are outside. I thought I'd show you how you can make some brushes or tools for art making, for mark making we call it. So here's a brush, not one I've made, a proper beautiful brush. I think this is made from goat hair, and then there's a wooden stem, and it's bound together with a bit of wire. Don't have any goats. I do have a Labrador. We could make something out of a brush out of her hair if we're lucky. But what we can also do is make a brush out of things that we find around the garden. So I'm going to show you. All you need, find a good stick. This looks a pretty good one. And then something that you can use for bristles. I thought this might make a very interesting brush. See that? Now I can do two things. I could either get some masking tape, some tape here, and then just tape it onto the end, wrap it round tightly. Too easy. One brush done. Or let's try another way. Another nice looking stick. This looks pretty good too. Let's try doing this one with a little bit of string. You could use all sorts of different things for your bristles. You could use feathers, grasses, pet hair. If you have a dog that sheds a lot of hair like mine, that will be very easy to do. Okay, so this one, I've cut a piece of string and I've got my bristles there, and I'm just going to wind it around the top really tightly, make it secure. Okay, do that a few times and then tie that in a knot. This is sort of nicer looking than the one with the tape, because it just looks, it's a nice object that you're making. Okay, double knot. Ta-da! We've made our own brushes, we can make our own paint. There's a few different ways you can do it. I've got a few different experiments happening here. Basically, paint is just pigment and then a binder. So the binder is like the glue that sticks it together. So the very first paint was held together with egg yolks. You could do something like that. Or we can make more of an ink, which is just pretty much the pigment and some water. And we could use a little bit of just vinegar from your pantry, which preserves it and makes it last a bit longer. I've made one here out of coffee and I put it in a jar. This one is made out of turmeric, which is a spice. And so together we could make some paint out of blueberries today. And also this pretty flower in my garden. We can try to see what colour we can get out of that. If we put it in the mortar and pestle and grind up the petals like a kind of flower soup. Okay, let's have a go. So, pull the flower, the petals off, put them into our mortar with the pestle. Grind it up. It's like cooking. I've lost all the petals. Okay. Let a bit of water. Oh yeah, it's starting to go very yellow. Okay, there. So that's one paint. I could put that into a jar. A tiny bit of vinegar. There we go. Marigold yellow. Now we're going to make blueberry blue. So I've got some blueberries and I put them in a jar. I'm just going to crush them. Oh, squishy. That's a good thing to do outside. It's very messy. Okay, crushing the blueberries as I can. Then I'm going to add some water. Add them a bit more. You could do this in the mortar and pestle. if you didn't have any of that, you could just use a spoon or something to crush it. A bit of vinegar to preserve it. Okay, mix it together again. Oh my goodness. Blueberry blue. So now we have 4 homemade paints. Got this turmeric yellow, which I've actually made with a bit of turmeric and a turmeric tea. Very, very light. Very light. So the longer you leave it to brew, or the more turmeric you put in, the darker it will be. This is coffee. And same thing, if you have more coffee in there, it'll be much darker. Use my brush out in the water. Let's try out our marigold yellow. Ooh, very similar to the coffee. It will change too when it dries. And the blueberry blue, let's see about you. Ooh, sort of more purpley. Very, very faint. Really fun. Really fun to make. See what else you can make. Grass. What happens if you grind up grass and add water? Charcoal. Have you got a fire pit at home? And the cold charcoal the next day after you've had a fire, you can grind it up and make it really black. Might see if I've got some, then I'll show you. So we've made brushes and we've made paint, so let's put them together and see what we can do. The really cool brushes like these and these, the ones we've just made, they're all going to give you different marks. This is going to be a soft, small one. This is going to be a bit unpredictable. That's what I like about these actually. They're all quite unpredictable. You don't have that much control, so you make some really interesting marks. This one might be less of a brush and more of a dabber. And I like this one. Looks like you might use this differently as well. Or you could try wiping it across or dabbing it. And what do you think of this one? The double-sided. So this one has a kind of bristly end, a bit more of a classic brush. And then this one, this end is a kitchen sponge that's been chopped up. And you could dab it and move it around like this and get some really interesting marks. So there's the double-sided one. Cute little one. It's made from rope, and then I've sprayed the edges, pulled the rope apart. You could actually use this end too to do a kind of nice sharper line. It is also made with rope. You could also use the other end as well. This is just with leaves from the tree and a bit of rope. This is some soft wool. You could use material as well. Get some pieces of material. Old clothes that don't fit you anymore. This one's tied together with tape. And this one is a bit of rosemary. It looks very fine. That one's going to get some really nice lines. So you can use anything to make a brush. I'd love to see what you do. Make some brushes and take a photo of them and send it to me. Alright, let's try the coffee brown and that cute little woolen brush. Ooh, that makes some nice dabby marks. Oh, this one has a little hole in it, a little circle inside because of the stick. That's cool. Let's try another one. What about this one? Oh, can I even get it in there? This is going to be very drippy. Feels nice. I'm going to try the other end. I don't think it's going to fit. Might suck up all the coffee. Okay, we'll try this one. Dab, 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 dab. Oh, interesting. Okay, what about this little guy? I think I'll call him Fluffy. Come on, Fluffy. So much fun. Why don't you have a go? See what you can do. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to look at things from different perspectives. So instead of looking at things straight on, we're going to look up, we're going to look down, sideways, and see how things change when we look at them differently and do some drawing. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so here I'm sitting at the bottom of my stairs and looking up the stairs. and it's a pretty different looking view. So I'm going to draw that and see how it looks as a drawing. So I've just drawn these stairs looking up, and that was really fun. It was really different to what I was expecting, because I ended up doing a perspective drawing, and I noticed that as the steps went away, they got smaller in the distance, and the closer up, the bigger they were, even though we know that they are the same size. That's what our eyes see, and so that's what we draw to make something look realistic. Pretty fun. Have you got any stairs in your house that you could try drawing? Maybe you could look up like I am, or you can sit up at the top of the stairs and then look down. Okay, now I'm at the top of the stairs. How do my proportions look? Have I got really tiny feet, and is my head really big? What about when I put my hand forward? Is it really, really large, bigger than my head? That's called foreshortening. And if you do a drawing with foreshortening, it looks really cool. It's hard because you think, oh, my hand, I know my hand isn't bigger than my head, but if you draw it, it will look really good. Okay, hi, just lying on the floor under my table. I thought I might give this a go now. I'm going to draw a very unusual perspective. So, something I wouldn't normally look at. And it's going to be very interesting because it doesn't make any sense to me at all what I'm drawing, which is quite fun. Becomes a bit like an abstracted drawing. Okay, try to do this fairly quickly. It's also like exercise at the same time because I'm using my core to hold my body up, so win-win. Okay, this is going to look very unusual. Okay, alright, I'll show you. Now this is what I'm seeing when I'm lying down under the table and drawing. It's very tricky. It becomes very, very abstract what I'm looking at and drawing. I also found a few things under the table. So here's my drawing. It's very abstract, isn't it? It's fun. Give it a go. I thought we'd do something completely different. You might have noticed a little bit of cardboard in front of me. Yes, we did do a little bit of a IKEA shopping spree on the weekend. And if this ever happens in your family and you end up with a lot of cardboard, then it's a great opportunity to make stuff. So what I'm going to show you today is a few cardboard construction techniques, and let's try to make something pretty cool. Alright, let's do it. Okay, well, I'm looking at all of this cardboard and I'm just seeing so many possibilities. So many things we could make. You could make a cubby house, you could make a sculpture, make something that you could use, or just something to play with. That could be a landscape with cars and little people. Gosh, what could you do with that? So many things. Anyway, never chuck anything out. You never know when you might be able to use it. Okay, let's spend some time now learning some techniques to stick these bits of cardboard together. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at today is how to make cardboard attachments. So I'm going to show you a few different techniques. We'll start with, this is called the flange. You can see I've got a toilet roll and I've cut some little bits out of it there, and it's called the flange. I'll show you how to do it. Then the next one we're going to look at is called the L brace. And that's just made with 2 bits of cardboard and some masking tape. And then this one, it's called the slot there, the slot technique, because you've got 2 pieces with slots in it and they slot together. They should slot together. And then the last one is holes, so punching holes and using string to tie them together. Okay, I have this idea that I want to make a giant pencil out of cardboard. So this is my, what I'm going to look at while I'm making it, and I'm just going to study it and see what parts I need. So the top bit here, I think that would be like a cone. So I need to make a cone. I think for a bit of cardboard, if I have a circle, if I cut this bit out, I should be able to join this together and make a cone for the top bit. Then I can paint that pencil top with some paint. Now how many sides has it got? Let's go from the barcode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So it's got 6 sides. Okay, so let's see, that'll look something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I guess I could make that with a very long piece of cardboard, and what I can do is what's called scoring the cardboard, which isn't cutting but only halfway through, so then I can bend it. Hang on, I need 6 sides, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I do 5 scores, and then I can attach it here and here, so I should be able to make a kind of nice cylinder with 6 sides. Then I'm just going to have to attach this bit to here. Now, how am I going to do this rounded bit? That's going to be tricky. I could use some softer paper maybe. Maybe I could stick something in the end, put this over, and put some masking tape around it. Okay, let's try that, see if that works. Okay, so I made my prototype and then I experimented with some paint too to see how it would work, and I learned a lot of things on the way. So it's much better to do a prototype before you rush into the big one, to do a bit of problem solving. So did that little one, that meant I could finish this one. Oh, it's so heavy! Ta-da! A giant pencil. So, what do you think? Now, you can have a go at that at home if you like, but make sure if you're using any sharp things, you ask your parents to help you. Okay, see ya!